Part 96. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 951. There was no change at all on Su Tianxuan's pretty face. She slowly took a step forward, and a bagua array appeared under her feet. The bagua array emits golden light, its folds are shining, and it looks particularly dazzling in the dark night. The magic circle unfolded and the four heavenly soldiers were instantly drawn into it. The four heavenly soldiers looked at each other, picked up the long swords in their hands and rushed towards Su Tianxian. Su Tianxian stood motionless. Just when the heavenly soldiers were about to cut her with their swords, she moved. I saw that Su Tianxian was as light as a swallow, and could easily deal with the attacks of these four heavenly soldiers. Her figure was as graceful as a flying geese, graceful as a swimming dragon, and extremely graceful. No matter how hard the four heavenly soldiers attacked, they could not touch Su Tianxuan's clothes. The main reason why Su Tianxian was able to deal with the attacks of the four heavenly soldiers with ease was because of the magic circle at his feet. The four heavenly soldiers were behind the magic circle, and every movement of the heavenly soldiers would cause fluctuations in the magic circle. Su Tianxian was able to capture it very accurately and in time, and then react accordingly. Su Tianxian had been dodging without making a move. At this time, one of the yin soldiers shouted, "What's the point of just dodging?" As soon as these words came out, Su Tianxuan's expression condensed, and she squeezed the secrets with both hands, and light blue lightning emerged from her palms. She didn't superimpose the 9 layers thunder art to too many layers, probably because she didn't want to hurt these heavenly soldiers. Su Tianxuan's body flashed and disappeared instantly. When he appeared, he was already in front of a heavenly soldier. She slowly pushed her palm forward, and the next moment, flashes of lightning spread to all parts of the heavenly soldier's body. With just one palm, Su Tianxian blasted the heavenly soldier away. Immediately afterwards, Su Tianxian followed suit and defeated the four heavenly soldiers with ease. The four heavenly soldiers covered their chests and struggled to stand up from the ground. Su Tianxian glanced at these guys lightly and said, "I don't want to hurt your lives. I am just here to get the Yang Hua from the sacred tree. Moreover, this Penglai island is about to sink into the sea, and this sacred tree has also lost it should have the effect." The four heavenly soldiers were silent for a long time. Knowing that they were no match for Su Tianxian, they could only shake their heads helplessly and said, "Please do so." "Thanks," Su Tianxian said in a very calm tone. Then, she waved to me, I quickly came to her side, and she led me to the sacred tree. "Hands out." I obediently stretched out my hand and spread my palm. Su Tianxian closed her eyes lightly, kneaded the formula with her hands, and muttered words. Suddenly, she suddenly opened her eyes and slapped the sacred tree with her palm. The sacred tree trembled violently, as if it suddenly came to life, and swayed as if a person was struggling desperately. Su Tianxian pulled out a golden essence from the tree. Then I pulled this essence and slowly placed it in my palm. I watched helplessly as the golden soul slowly sank into my palm. The next moment, I felt a warmth spreading from my palms to all parts of my body. The golden retriever's consciousness that was constantly confusing me in my mind also calmed down instantly. "Call out the heart sword." I nodded, turned my hands, held them in the air, and the heart sword was held in my hands. Su Tianxian picked up the sword and pointed it at the center of my eyebrows. When her delicate jade fingers touched the center of my eyebrows, I felt something flowing along Su Tianxuan's fingertips. Su Tianxian slowly brought the golden light from the center of my eyebrows to the heart sword. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 952. Then, Su Tianxian made a move that surprised me. She actually bit her finger and dripped blood on the heart sword. In an instant, the heart sword emitted a dazzling red light, and then the red light dissipated, and the body of the heart sword was filled with blood lines. The essence of the sacred tree, plus my blood essence, will be fused with Jingxiao and your heart sword after returning to Ji Yuntang. By then, the power of the heart sword will definitely be thousands of times more powerful than it is now. I looked at the heart sword in my hand, and a warmth surged into my heart. Okay. We can't delay here any longer. If we continue to delay, I'm afraid we won't be able to leave. I nodded and turned around to leave, but the moment I turned around, I saw a thick black mist rising from the sea. I shouted in shock, "Tianxian, look." Su Tianxian looked in the direction I pointed, and a serious look appeared on his calm face. The barrier around Penglai Immortal Island was broken as the Immortal Island sank, and the Black Realm has spread. Su Tianxian grabbed my hand and said, "Let's get out of here." Afterwards, Su Tianxian led me to speed up and run towards the east of Fairy Island. After I descended from the mountain to a relatively flat terrain, a strong yin energy suddenly arose around me. Countless ghost figures emerged from the darkness. I subconsciously took a step back. In just a few breaths, countless ghosts blocked our path. Most of these ghosts are dressed in Taoist costumes. I think they come because Penglai Island is a holy land, and monks like them come here to seek immortality. But later they all died here, their resentment lingering and turned into evil ghosts. This also explains how the Yangsha land came to be. I took a step forward and said, "Let me do it this time." Because of the spirit of the sacred tree, the power of the general in my body has been suppressed, and my physical condition has recovered a lot. The most important thing is that I want to try the power of the heart sword. After saying that, I stretched out my right hand, held it in the air, and the heart sword appeared in my hand. The heart sword exudes a dazzling golden light. You can't tell how powerful the heart sword is just by looking at it, so I want to give it a try with these ghosts. The appearance of the heart sword made those fierce ghosts instinctively feel fear, and they stepped back step by step with fear on their faces. I was extremely surprised when I saw this situation. The residual power emitted by the heart sword alone could frighten these evil spirits. It can be seen from this that the power of the heart sword is more than a little bit stronger. I summoned the secret key of heaven and drew the thunder talisman. The thunder talisman emitting blue light slowly floated in front of me. If the peachwood sword is used together with the talisman, the power of the talisman will be qualitatively improved. The same goes for heart sword. I shouted loudly, pointed my sword at the thunder talisman, and silently thought in my mind to activate the thunder talisman. Suddenly, the thunder talisman suddenly shattered and turned into a powerful and surging thunder and lightning that lingered on the tip of the heart sword. My expression condensed, and I thrust my sword forward suddenly. The thunder and lightning roared away with the power to destroy the world and instantly swallowed up all the ghosts in front of them. After the thunder and lightning, I had wiped out more than half of the evil ghosts in front of me. I looked at what was happening in front of me with some disbelief. In the past, when I used the heart sword to cast the thunder talisman, it would never have such power. It has to be said that this heart sword became so powerful after being blessed by the essence of the sacred tree and the essence and blood of Su Tianxian. As for why Su Tianxuan's essence and blood can strengthen the heart sword, the reason is actually very simple. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanbao. Chapter 953. Su Tianxian himself is powerful and has high moral standards. He is already known as a heavenly master, and his essence and blood naturally contain a strong aura of awe-inspiring power. Afterwards, Su Tianxian and I took care of the remaining ghosts and ran towards the coast. Soon, I saw a building docked on the coast. At a glance, I saw Jin standing on the boat with a worried face. And she also saw me. She was stunned for a moment, then waved at me and shouted, "Lu Su. Master Tianxian." The two of us got on the boat. Only after I got on the boat did I realize that the boat was already filled with white beasts. There are many types of these beasts. Tigers, wolves, mandrills, monkeys. But they have one thing in common, that is, they are all white and look particularly eye-catching in the dark night. The majestic white tiger quickly ran over after seeing Su Tianqian and rubbed against Su Tianqian affectionately. Obviously, this white tiger is the king of these beasts. Su Tianqian reached out and gently rubbed Baihu's head. Su Fu and Yu Sun Tao came over. Yu Sun Tao took Su Tianqian into his arms and said excitedly, "Great, you are back." Su Tianqian couldn't accept Yu Sun Tao's intimate behavior, so he stretched out his hand and pushed her aside. Yu Sun Tao joked, "Hey. Now that I have a little apprentice, he doesn't even recognize me as his sister. It's really sad." Su Tianqian surprisingly did not refute Yu Sun Tao's words. Su Fu came to me and said respectfully, "Your Majesty, are we leaving here now?" I nodded and said, "Leave now, but I need to make some preparations before leaving. The Black Realm on the sea is gradually approaching us. If we want to leave here, we must pass through the Black Realm. Moreover, this time the black mist is no different than before, both in terms of the concentration and scope of the black mist. Therefore, a large formation must be set up on the building and ship." I told Su Fu my thoughts. After hearing this, Su Fu said, "If you want to completely isolate the black mist, you must set up an 8-way protective array." Later, Su Fu explained to me what the Beifang Qi protective formation was. The 8 directions protective Qi gathers the energy from all directions and turns it into a shield to protect the people in the formation. Once the formation takes effect, gods and ghosts will not invade and the black mist will dissipate. If that's the case, what are you waiting for? Su Fu looked troubled and said, "I can't use this 8 directions protective formation alone. I need your help, Your Majesty." "How to help?" "Use the true dragon energy in your body as a guide to summon the energy from all directions, so that it can be completed." "True dragon spirit? Isn't that the Qi of Ziwei?" I said there was no problem, and immediately set up the formation with Su Fu. Seeing this, Su Tianqian and Yu Sun Tao quickly stepped forward to help. Just as the formation was being set up, a roar that resounded throughout the world came from the direction of Penglai Immortal Island. I followed the sound and saw that the fairy island filled with fairy energy had sunk to the bottom of the sea. Seeing this scene, I felt very sad. The legendary Penglai Island has now ended up like this. It's also a pity. The Black Realm began to approach us quickly, and Su Fu and others had already completed the arrangement of the magic circle. I saw that there were densely packed incantations on the buildings and ships. I stood at the center of the formation, took a deep breath, circulated the crepe myrtle energy in my body, and released it. The aura of crepe myrtle lingered on the ship and did not dissipate. A moment later, 8 beams of golden light penetrated the black field from 8 directions and headed straight towards the building ship. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanbao. Chapter 954. The energy from all directions instantly enveloped the ship, and the incantations on the ship's hull emitted golden light. Just as the 8-way air protecting formation was taking shape, the black mist instantly enveloped the ship. I let out a long sigh of relief. This was a critical moment. There was pitch black outside the magic circle, the kind of darkness that was invisible, like a huge black hole, swallowing everything. Su Fu found 3,000 boys and girls and told them that they could sail. 3,000 boys and girls nodded in agreement and sailed in the black misty realm in the building ship. I sat on the deck, and my tense nerves never relaxed in the slightest. Only by exiting the Black Realm and returning to the coast can we be safe. Because, I don't know what will happen next. Jins came to me, her pretty face full of restraint. I asked, "What's wrong?" Jins stammered for a long time and couldn't say a word. I smiled and said, "If you have anything to say, just say it." Don't be afraid. Jins murmured softly, Can I go back with you? I was slightly taken aback. What did I think? Of course. Didn't you promise to stay with me before? What? Do you still want to go back on your word? Jins raised her head in panic and waved her hands repeatedly. No. No. I just can't believe you would take me in. I stood up, smiled, and said, I will naturally fulfill what I promised you. Come back to Jiyuntang with me. You will make many good friends. It's hard for Jins to get along with other people with his personality. Because her experience led to the cowardice in her bones. However, there are Miao Fengluan, Huaxiu, Xiaohe, and Cai Dai in Jiyuntang. Wait, the Cai Dai has been sleeping for how long and has not woken up? Is it possible that the 5 poison pearls haven't been digested yet? Really? Jins asked in surprise, with a look of longing on his eyebrows. I nodded, of course it's true. I chatted with Jins for a few words, and then she turned and left. Su Tianxian came to me and asked, what are you going to do next? I thought for a while and said, now that the evil core is in our hands, we must find a way to destroy it. Moreover, I must go to Bamang Mountain as soon as possible to rescue Xiang Yi. Su Tianxian nodded slightly, then pondered for a moment and asked, do you feel that this is a conspiracy? Conspiracy? I was stunned for a moment, and then started thinking about the whole thing. After thinking for a while, I raised my head and asked, you mean this is Zhang Yucheng's plan to lure the tiger away from the mountain? I have already been to 2 places in the land of 4 evils. And he successfully held the evil core in his own hands. There are still 2 places I haven't gone to yet. If nothing happens to Xiang Yi, then I will go to the next place of the 4 evils. And at this juncture, something happened to Xiang Yi. Su Tianxian nodded and replied, it's very possible. I sighed slightly, tune the tiger away from the mountain, just move the tiger away from the mountain. I can't just watch Xiang Yi die in Bamang Mountain. Su Tianxian didn't say anything else. At this moment, there was a loud bang not far away. The loud noise was followed by the ship shaking violently. It was as if something huge hit the building ship hard. I turned around suddenly and looked in the direction of the loud noise. There was nothing visible from this angle, so without any hesitation, I walked towards the stern of the ship where the sound came from. When I reached the stern of the boat, the scene before me made my hair stand on end. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 955. I saw a short monster with a huge shell on his head and a red lantern on his shoulders, desperately hitting the magic circle. This is a snail spirit. The essence of the snail spirits is conch. They practice day and night on the seabed and transform into human bodies. They have cruel personalities and like to eat people. The snail shell on its head is so hard that it can even grow in size and suck people into it. Then the snail spirit will turn into its own body and cannibalize the human beings in the shell step by step. The snail spirit looks ugly, resembling a little old man. The wrinkles on his face are twisted together, making him look extremely charming. Fortunately, there is a magic circle, and a snail spirit alone cannot break through the magic circle. After the snail spirit saw me, it opened its big mouth and smiled sinisterly at me. The sticky liquid in its mouth made people feel sick. It lies on the light gathered by the magic circle. The reason why it can do this is entirely because of the essence of the snail. After the snail spirit is successfully transformed, its body will also secrete mucus, and this mucus can easily adhere to any object. Su Tianxian also came to my side and saw that the expression on Luo Jing's face did not change much. This snail spirit has not been practicing for long, and it seems that it has just transformed into a human form. I nodded when I heard this, but immediately realized something was wrong. Since he had just transformed into a human form, how could there be such a powerful force that made the entire building tremble? Not good. I exclaimed. But as soon as he finished speaking, the entire building shook violently again. I stood firm and stared outside the magic circle. Rub 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 rub. Countless black shadows emerged from the sea. Then it sticks tightly to the aperture of the magic circle. I came to the side of the boat, leaned out and looked towards the hull. Due to the faint white light emitted by the magic circle, I could clearly see the situation of the hull. This sight made me, a person without trypophobia, feel numb instantly. On the hull of the ship, countless snail spirits wearing huge snail shell shoulder lanterns were climbing up. The number of snail spirits is so large that it is jaw-dropping. Moreover, they have various faces and are staring at me eerily. I backed away continuously, my expression became extremely ugly. Master! There is. Before the words were finished, countless snail spirits were picked up from the hull of the ship, and then concentrated on one of the eyes of the magic circle to hit it crazily. If one snail spirit has no ability to break through the magic circle, but a group of. Sure enough, as the snail spirit crazily hit the eye of the magic circle, the light of the entire magic circle began to flicker. Although they cannot break through the entire formation, breaking through one of the formation's eyes is also a huge danger to us. Because they will get in through the broken holes. Su Tianqian looked stern and stretched out his jade hand to knead the secret, but there was no rush. The snail spirit has broken through one of the holes in the magic circle, and countless snail spirits have gotten in through the broken hole. I took a step forward and directly used Nine Eyes Heavenly Domain. The Nine Eyes Heaven realm expanded and successfully blocked the shattering formation eye. However, this does not mean that I will repair the formation eye, but use the scope of the Nine Eyes Heavenly Domain to create a magic formation again. As long as I am still alive, I can protect Su Tianqian and others outside the Nine Eyes Heaven territory. But what I have to face next is all kinds of monsters and ghosts in the Black Realm. The snail spirits surrounded me, there were simply too many of them. Without any hesitation, I directly summoned the Netherworld Ghost Sea, and a large number of Yin soldiers emerged from the Ghost Sea. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanba. Chapter 956. I am not afraid of the human wave tactic. After all, I have more than 10,000 Yin soldiers. The appearance of the Yin soldiers made the snail spirit instinctively feel fear. However, the desire for human blood in their hearts made them unwilling to retreat. I summoned the heart sword and looked at them coldly. At this time, Su Tianqian slapped the black barrier of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm and said to me, "Xiao Su, let me in too." I turned my head, smiled at her, and said, "Leave such small things to me, I can handle it." Su Tianqian was stunned for a moment, put down his jade hand, and said to me, "Pay attention to safety." I nodded and looked at the snail spirits again. These snail spirits must be eradicated or repelled, because only in this way can I repair the broken formation eye. I gave the order, and the Yin soldiers took the order, drew out the long knives from their waists, and attacked the snail spirit. In an instant, the snail spirit and the Yin soldiers were fighting together. These snail spirits are quite advanced and can fight back and forth with Yin soldiers. However, the Yin soldiers gradually gained the upper hand. I wasn't watching the battle either. I picked up the heart sword and struck in the direction of the formation's eye. Just when I was about to get close to the formation, an extremely powerful Yin Qi came from not far away. My expression changed, I clenched the heart sword in my hand, and stared into the darkness. I saw a little light of fire emerging from the darkness, and then headed towards me at an extremely fast speed. The fire expanded, and in the blink of an eye it was in front of me. When I saw what the fire was, I couldn't help but murmured in a low voice, "Yaksha." That yaksha has two wings. Sometimes the wings appear red, sometimes blue, and sometimes yellow. No matter what color they are, There is a dark light, and the hair is burning with fierce flames. Yaksha's head is a fish head with scales on it. When the light shines on it, the fish head looks particularly weird. The Yaksha in front of me is obviously High Yaksha. The Yaksha I met before had two abilities, the earthly Yaksha and the empty Yaksha. The one in front of me should have the abilities of the sea-walking Yaksha and the empty Yaksha. Otherwise, it would not be able to emerge from the sea. I looked at this Yaksha coldly. Yasha's dead fish eyes were also staring at me, and then I saw its head shake and turn into a human head. The Yaksha's body sometimes transforms into a human body, an animal head, a bull head, or a horse head. In short, it is terrifying. Jajaja. High Yaksha laughed sinisterly. The eyes he looked at me were filled with a playful and bloodthirsty look. It's been a long time since I've seen a living person here, and there are still such ghosts on the ship. I must have a big meal today. Yaksha's face showed a fierce look, and his facial features were twisted together, making him look ferocious and terrifying. I pointed my sword at High Yaksha and said coldly, "You can give it a try." High Yaksha laughed strangely, flapped his wings and rushed towards me. It was so fast that my eyes couldn't even catch it. He came behind me in a moment. My eyes can't catch it, but that doesn't mean I can't react. The moment it appeared behind me, I turned around suddenly, picked up the hard sword, and swung it hard behind me. High Yaksha didn't seem to expect that my reaction would be so quick. It also reacted, but was unable to dodge. The sharp hard sword cut through its skin, and scarlet blood gurgled along the wound. High Yaksha quickly flew to high altitude and distanced himself from me. I couldn't help but snort in my heart while watching this scene. Sky Coffin. Author, Ching Nian Wanbao. Chapter 957. I pointed my sword at High Yaksha and asked sternly, "Do you think I can't do anything to you once you fly into the air?" The wound that High Yaksha received from me is healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. It stared at me, its eyes full of viciousness and resentment. "You are the first person who has hurt me in all my life." The flame on Yaksha's head was like a bucket of oil being poured on it, and the fire was getting bigger and bigger at this moment. At the same time, this also fully illustrates the anger in Yaksha's heart. "Then you should be lucky that you didn't meet me earlier. If you had met me earlier, you would have died long ago." High Yaksha was completely irritated by me and rushed towards me with his teeth and claws bared. Just when it was about to hit me, I used the power of the Nine Eyes heavenly domain to disappear instantly. High Yaksha hit the deck firmly. Su Tianxian quickly said to me, "Xiao Su, quickly activate the purple energy in your body. Otherwise, the black mist will corrode you." I was stunned on the spot for a moment. I completely forgot about the black mist about the battle with High Yaksha just now. I looked towards where the formation eye was. I saw that the thick black mist had drifted in along the formation eye. The spread of the black mist is not fast, on the contrary, it is extremely slow. If the speed were a little faster, I'm afraid the entire Nine Eyes Heaven territory would be filled with black mist. I don't know why, but the black barrier of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm can block anything. But nothing could stop the black mist. This suddenly made me realize a problem. If the black mist fills the Nine Eyes Sky realm, wouldn't it spread to the entire building and ship through the black barrier? Thinking of this, I quickly circulated the Zaiwei Qi in my body, and then stretched out my hand to attach the Zaiwei Qi to the black barrier of Juyan Tianyu. A layer of lavender light appeared on the black barrier. And those black mist are also blocked by the Nine Eyes Heaven realm. Zaiwei's Qi is the most yang Qi in the world, and no yin Qi can compete with it. But doing this would cost me a lot. I can't control that much now. High Yaksha stood up staggeringly, staring at me with a pair of vicious and malicious eyes. High Yaksha was obviously stunned at that moment. I must now find a way to get close to the formation eye, and then use the pure lotus mark to block the broken formation eye. I have tried it before, and the pure lotus mark can indeed block these black mist. You want to ask me why I don't attach the power of the pure lotus seal to the nine eyes heaven realm. In fact, the reason is very simple, that is, I have not used it and I don't know if it is feasible. Moreover, I have to repair the formation eye later, so I can't consume too much pure lotus mark. Hyaksha held his hand in the air, and a trident that exuded a real chill was held in his hand. It flapped its wings again and flew into the air. The moment it took off, I concentrated my expression and mobilized the power of the nine eyes heavenly domain. An invisible pressure was about to rise, and Hyaksha suppressed it hard. In the nine eyes heaven realm, I can control all the things and powers in it. Hyaksha was suppressed by the power of my nine eyes heavenly domain and was unable to move. My figure flashed and disappeared instantly. When I reappeared, I was already in front of the formation. The formation eye has been shrouded in black mist. I have Zaiwei Qi to protect my body, so I can naturally not be eroded by these black mist. I have no intention of dealing with the Hyaksha. The first thing I need to do is repair my formation. Then I will try to figure out which Hyaksha to kill. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 958. I stretched out my left hand and activated the pure lotus mark on my palm. The hazy and holy white light emerged from my palm, and then spread to the formation eyes. The broken formation eyes are being repaired at a speed visible to the naked eye. I concentrated on repairing the formation eye, and I was not afraid of the snail spirit being blocked by the yin soldiers. At this moment, a strong yin energy came from behind me. I frowned, that Hyaksha must have broken free from the shackles of the nine eyes heavenly domain. But I can't be distracted now, because the formation eye is just about to be repaired. Xiao Su. Be careful. Su Tianxuan's exclamation rang in my ears again. I turned around suddenly and saw Hyaksha's face with twisted features. I quickly summoned the karma fire to form a wall of fire around me. After Hyaksha saw Karma Huo, his figure was obviously stagnant. But as if it had made up its mind, its flying speed increased instead of decreasing. Hyaksha rushed straight towards the wall of fire. I was shocked. I wanted to take action, but it was too late. Hyaksha rushed through the wall of fire, grabbed my shoulder, and flew out of the building. I quickly stretched out my right hand and tightly grasped the railing of the building boat. The pure lotus mark on the palm of his left hand is still emitting a holy light. The light is continuously repairing the formation eye. Hyaksha grinned ferociously and roared at me, I have lived for so long, and no one has ever dared to hurt me at all. You hurt me today. I will definitely make you pay the price. I ignored it and stared closely at the formation. At this moment, I am holding the railing of the building boat with my right hand, and my left hand is in front of the formation. And Hyaksha's legs transformed into eagle claws and grabbed my shoulders, dragging me crazily backwards. There were bursts of tearing pain in my shoulders, and I gritted my teeth and refused to let go. Click. The wooden railings made a shattering sound. Just when the railing was about to break, the formation eye was repaired by the pure lotus mark. I was stunned. Now it's my turn. I let go of my right hand and lifted myself into the air. I suddenly raised my right hand and swung it towards my head. My right hand drew an arc in the air, just when my right hand was about to touch Hyaksha. A golden light burst out from my hand, and the heart sword appeared out of thin air. I just heard a pop, and Hyaksha's legs were cut off by me. My whole body fell straight towards the bottom of the sea. On the way to fall, he quickly formed seals with his hands, and powerful thunder and lightning circled to the body of the heart sword. I swung my sword in the air, and the thunder and lightning hovering above the blade of the heart sword roared out. Boom! Roaring thunder exploded out of thin air. Hyaksha was still in pain from having his legs cut off by me, so he didn't notice this thunder strike at all. I saw thunder and lightning exploding in Hyaksha's body. Ah! Hyaksha let out a miserable cry and fell directly from the air. I quickly stabilized my body, inserted the heart sword directly into the hull of the building, slowed down the descent, and finally stopped in mid-air with the heart sword. I looked around, and there was darkness all around, with only the faint light emitting from the magic circle above my head. This is terrible. How on earth can we get back to the ship? The scope of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm cannot reach the deck of the building ship at all. If I continue to drag it out here, I will be completely finished when Zai Wei Qi is exhausted. At this moment, Su Tianqian leaned out of the magic circle. Xiao Su. Su Tianqian shouted, his tone full of worry. I replied, Master. I'm fine. I don't know how to get up now. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qingnian Wanbao. Chapter 959. I was too far away from the deck. So much so that I couldn't hear Su Tianxuan's voice very clearly. A moment later, Su Tianxuan's worried voice came again. Xiao Su, don't worry. There seems to be a rope on this boat. I'll go look for it. I agreed, okay. Immediately afterwards, I looked around. The Hyaksha who was injured by me just now must be hiding in the dark and staring at me. If it attacks me again, I won't be able to handle it at all. Then, I heard Jin's calling me from above. Lu Su. Are you okay? I replied, I'm fine. As soon as I finished speaking, a biting cold wind hit me not far away, and my face became stern. Damn it! This Hyaksha is indeed here. I looked in the direction of the dark wind and saw the sea yaksha waving its wings and flying towards me. Its legs were cut off by me and are now growing slowly. The neatly cut pieces of meat were squirming wildly, like maggots. Just one look at it gave me goosebumps all over my body. Yaksha's eyes were filled with viciousness and resentment. If eyes could kill, I estimate that I would have died thousands of times. Boy! You have made me so embarrassed. Only by killing you. Only by killing you can I vent my anger. With that said, it rushed towards me, its hands changed into the shape of ghost claws, and it went straight towards my heart. I quickly activated the pure lotus underworld, and the hazy holy light enveloped me. What I can do now is try to delay as much time as possible, waiting for Su Tianqian to find a rope to pull me up. Due to the existence of the black mist, all my methods seemed so insignificant. Not only do I have to deal with Hyaksha, but I also have to spare some of my energy to fight against the black mist. Su Tianqian said before that once I am eroded by the black mist, there is only one fate waiting for me, and that is death with ulcers all over my body. Hyaksha smiled ferociously and attacked me crazily. His sharp claws hit the holy white light surrounding me again and again. As time went by, my face became increasingly pale. Su Tianqian didn't make any movement either. Hyaksha looked at me fiercely, then opened his mouth and let out a roar. The roar reached into the sky and penetrated my eardrums. Immediately afterwards, there was a splashing sound from the sea below me. I screamed in my heart, it was summoning something. Sure enough, I saw sea monkeys climbing up the hull of the building boat one after another. The number of sea monkeys is 2 or 3 times more than what I have seen before. Soon, these sea monkeys came to me and began to attack me crazily. Just as it was descending, the Nine Eyes Heaven realm had already dissipated. It took a lot of pure lotus power to repair the formation eye. These are not the most important, the most important thing is the black fog around them. At this moment, a rustling sound suddenly came from my ears. I was slightly startled. The sound seemed like something was tearing at the wooden board. I followed the sound, and it didn't matter what I saw. It instantly made me furious. I saw that a sea monkey had bitten out a big hole where the heart sword was inserted into the hull of the boat. Damn beast! I couldn't help but curse. But as soon as I finished speaking, the heart sword detached from the hull. And I fell straight into the sea. Oops. This is going to be difficult. Sky Coffin. Author, Ching Nian Wanbao. Chapter 960. I just heard a splash and fell straight into the cold sea water. The purple light on his body is getting darker and darker. This also shows that there is not much Zai Wei Qi left in my body. I wanted to swim towards the water, but suddenly I found that my limbs seemed to be frozen and unable to move. How is this going? I struggled hard, but my whole body felt like I was being crushed by a ghost. I was conscious but unable to move. I immediately thought of the black mist. Is it possible that the sea water is also affected by the black mist? The formation principle of these black mist is the same as that of the underworld. In this area, the number of monsters must have reached an incalculable level. Objects that have been in this area for a long time are naturally affected. Whether it is a stone, a living thing, or even water, it will become different from before. Just when I was at a loss, something seemed to be swimming towards me. I was shocked. This is really a wave of unrest and another wave. Just when those things in the surrounding sea were about to get closer to me, I suddenly heard the sound of falling into the water. Immediately afterwards, I saw a ray of cold light coming towards me quickly in the endless darkness. In the blink of an eye, the cold light came to me. I took a closer look and it turned out to be Jin's. Jin's returned to his mermaid form, and his two long, slender, white legs now turned into fish tails. Her body was burning with fierce flames. The color of the flame is dark blue, which is particularly eye-catching in the dark. She swam to my side, without saying a word stretched out two slender jade arms to grab my shoulders, and then dragged me towards the sea. Seeing her like this, I understood everything instantly. Jin's is burning the fat on his body. Jin Se had said before that they, the Shark Clan, came to Penglai Immortal Island in order to avoid being chased by the alchemists of the Qin dynasty. In order to preserve the descendants of the same clan, the elders of their Shark Clan chose to burn their own fat to dispel the black mist. Burning grease means burning their lifespan. But now, Jin's actually did this for me. I was both touched and distressed. Soon, Jin's took me to the sea. And the feeling of stiffness all over the body is slowly fading. Jin's looked at me with a worried face and asked, "Lu Su, how are you? Are you injured?" I shook my head, my throat was crawling, and my voice was a little hoarse, and I said, "You." Jin's shook his head and replied, "I'm fine." How could this be okay? I'm not a fool either. Jin's doing this will cause great harm to her. At this moment, a hemp rope suddenly fell down. I was stunned for a moment, and then I knew that Su Tianqian was here to save me. I grabbed the hemp rope and looked up along the hemp rope, only to see Su Tianqian coming towards me with a faint golden light emitting from his body. I said to Jin's, "Hurry up." Then, "What about you?" I replied, "I'm following you." Jin's nodded, grabbed the hemp rope with her slender hands, turned the fish tail into legs, and then started to climb up. I followed closely, and Jin's brought me a ray of light at the cost of burning his life. I couldn't bear it, so I grabbed Jin's jade feet and used the last crepe myrtle energy in my body to form a defense for her. Jin's was caught by my feet and turned to look at me in panic.